Okay, so we're going to make a start now. So, anyone's got any questions, you're welcome to interrupt. I don't have a script for this. If it's something that I'm going to cover on later on in time, it will be absolutely be fine, not a problem. You're welcome to use the chat box as well. So everyone, you can send me messages via the chat box, or you're welcome to interrupt me. No problem at all. And like I said, a copy of the presentation and the template that I'm going to be using, I'm going to be breaking down we will be I'll be sending out to everyone today. So let's make a start. Okay, so let's start with how many people actually know what money they need to survive every month. You know, it's a question that I ask so many people. So those people who don't know me, my name is Saeed. I'm an accountant. I run my own practice. I help a lot of businesses start off. And one of the questions I ask people, and especially when they're starting a business or they're doing other things, is that how much money do you actually need to live? Because that is the minimum amount that you know that you need to have. How much is it? And if you know how much it is, where does the money go to? So many people say, well, I know I receive X amount of money coming in, but you know, at the end of the month, I don't seem to have any money left. I don't know where it goes. So where does it go? This exercise that I'm going to show you will help you to establish where your money is going, how much money you actually need, okay, to survive, and you'll then be able to make judgments about how better to use your money. The question really is, you know, have those are the things on screen which are there for you to ponder about. Now, starting point for all this. Now, I know it's numbers. So as an accountant, I'm fond of numbers. I like numbers, but I'm also very much aware that numbers don't go well with lots and lots of people. Okay, but don't worry, we're here to help you. And when other people have attempted to do budgets in the past, they've seen this massive spreadsheet that comes out, and people just they're just flabbergasted. They just see this spreadsheet and they think this is not possible to do. So I'm going to be making sure today that, look, you can do this. We're here to help you do this, and this is something that we really want you to help you to do, and we're going to break it down to show you how you can do this. Okay, so, and believe me, at the end of the day, you will say that you will be able to do this. So don't worry. If you're not someone who likes numbers, don't worry about it. It will come to you, right? Believe me, we'll help you. And this is easy. It's not difficult for you to do. So, starting point, okay? So don't get flabbergasted what's on the screen, but the starting point is you need to write down. Okay, don't do it now, but I'm just telling you now. You need to write down all the expenses which you incur every month, okay, or what you expect to pay out every month. If you don't know what it is, have a look at what it was on your bank statement, etc. But write everything down. So, see, I made a list here: rent, electric, gas, car, groceries, etc., etc., etc. So I made a list of the expenses which I believe are incurred on a monthly basis. So in total for the month, these are the sort of figures that I would expect. So I have a salary of £3,000 a month, and I have these expenses which are listed there. Okay, that information we need to put into a spreadsheet, into a template. So you break it down, okay? So don't get flabbergasted when you see these templates that come to you, the spreadsheet that I'll be sending out to you. It goes into little sections. Remember, this is what you believe that your income is and what your expenses are. So simple, we just start moving forward. So this spreadsheet has different sections on it. So we start filling in the sections which we know. So we said here, income salary was £3,000. So the income section, I know there's a lot of other income details there, but we may not have them. But we know we've got salary of £3,000. You fill in the £3,000, and I'm sending this spreadsheet to you. But this spreadsheet, I've broken it down on screen for you, but it's going to be one page when you get it. But when I break it down like this, it makes it more meaningful to you, and it makes it more relevant for you, and it makes it easier for you to say, actually, I can do this. Okay, so that's the most important thing. And this is an exercise which you must do. And I'll tell you the reasons why afterwards and how to improve it afterwards as well. So income was £3,000, not a problem. Okay, then we had some house expenses. So we go to the house expenses section, and we put down our rent was £1,200, our insurance was £22, electric, gas, etc., etc. Okay, so not difficult. Anyone could do this. It's just writing the information down, putting it onto the template. We've got that section done. So our home expenses equate to £1,360 in this example. We then go to transportation. So this is all the, we go to A to B to work, etc. What do we use? So we pay some for our cars, we got some insurance, we pay for the fuel, but you could have buses, taxis, you could have some other expenses in there. Absolutely. So whatever you got, you put them into that transport, into transport section, £551. Okay, so everyone with me so far is not difficult, right? Okay, next, health. We know that in our temple, when I did the things right at the beginning, I said here, dentist was £16. So health, £16 is what I'm paying a month, and there it is in the health section. Same with charity. We're paying some money to charity. It's on the wrong heading. Never mind. Okay, but it's there. Subscriptions. We had some magazine subscriptions, £30. Absolutely, we put that into the subscription section. So we break all these sections down so they don't look daunting. We just enter all the information. Remember, we had groceries. We spent some money on clothes. We spent some money on dining out, etc. We spent some money at a salon, or the barber, the hairdressers, etc. That was £32 a month, £452. Okay, we have some entertainment. We have gym membership. We pay £16 a month. We put that into entertainment section. So you just list whatever you've got. The template that I've designed for you has everything on it, and you just fill the information into the right relevant section. We put £100 to savings, and that's on the section. What does that come to? That comes to, we had a salary of £3,000. With all our expenses that we have incurred, that we believe that we incur, the total is £2,563. So that means we have a surplus of £437 a month. That bit is your budget. Okay, so you know that you have money of £3,000. Your expenditure is 2,563. You've got a savings at the end of the month. You should end up with £437 in your bank account, etc. You can use it for a holiday, etc., or you're saving up for something else. You know that you've got that money. That bit isn't difficult, but so many of us don't do this. Okay, because next bit is the bit that we really need to do. Once you've done that, you don't just leave it. You don't just say, I know my income's 3,000, expenses 2,563. I should have £437. That's absolutely great, but there's a step that you need to do every month, and it needs to be done on a monthly basis. So remember, our income was 3,000. Our total expenses were 2,563. At the end of each month, what we need to do is to go back and work out exactly where do we spend our money and how much money did we spend. So that's the next bit. So 1 month later, I've listed down again, I've looked at my bank statements, looked at my credit card statements, found out what money I've spent, and I've listed it down again. So my electric, rent, electric, gas, my car, groceries, etc., etc., etc. I'm listing every single thing down that I've got, okay? You do that every month. And then in the template or in the spreadsheet, okay, you start putting the information in. So you list absolutely everything that you spent money on. Okay, so you know that every penny that you spent in the month is on this list here. And now you go back to the spreadsheet and you start putting it in. So our income we thought was £3,000. Yes, we received £3,000 this month. So not a problem. That's what we expected. That's what we received. Home expenses. Okay, we list them down. Okay, so for example, we thought our home insurance was £22 a month. We actually ended up paying £27 a month. Okay, so we paid £5 more than what we were estimating it for. I'll come back to why this could be, but this is what we're looking at. Electricity, again, we paid £4 less than what we estimated. Okay, so that's in our favor. Gas, oil, again in our favor, but phone was £20 higher than what we thought it was. Internet was £10 higher than what we thought it was. And we didn't put anything in for some maintenance, etc., which we didn't have an estimate for. We didn't think we were going to spend it, but we spent £25. Now, when you come to do this, just because summer is in the black, i.e., you have spent less than what you estimated it to be, it sounds like good news, but it does need to be investigated as to why. Because then you'll need to change. If for example, your electric is only £63 instead of 67, you'll change your spreadsheet for next month to £63. Phone, for example, was the other way around. Why has it gone up by £20 from what you expected it to be? That was surely should instigate into you to look at your phone bill. Why has it gone up? Why have you made some extra calls more than whatever? And that should then trigger things for you to look at as to why I'm spending more. And this is where people who are very efficient, they will then change their phone supplier. You might just find that, especially when tariffs finish and the phone company carries you on, they don't move you to the cheapest tariff by automatically. Okay, mobile phones are notorious at this, internet is notorious at this, that they carry on. Even though your subscription has finished, they'll carry on. And unless you actually go and check that you're paying more than what you should do, you may be able to get a better deal. Okay, or it could just be that you've estimated it wrong. But that's what we do for each of the items in our daily life. So that was home expenses. We do the same thing for travel. Okay, so in this particular case, I found that my fuel for this particular month was £65 higher than what I expected it to be. I also had to pay some bus, taxi, trains of £62, which I didn't expect to be. That should trigger to me as to why is my travel a lot higher this month? Yeah, is it because I went on some journeys which are not one-off things, or is it that look, petrol has gone up in price and I've not estimated it, etc., or my car is breaking down, etc., and I'm catching buses, etc., and I've not included that in my estimate, etc. We need to then investigate as to why things have changed. In the same way, insurance has gone in your favor, but you'd want to know that why did the insurance, which should be a steady amount, fixed amount every month, why has it gone down? Is there something that's changing? Is there something that you need to know about, etc.? Why it's gone down? So all of these things should trigger questions and should enable you to change, to look at them and make more savings. Health example, exactly the same. We had our dentist insurance in there, £16, but life insurance was missing. So that may just be something that we missed off their budget. So we'll put that into the budget next month. We'll be looking at each of these every month. Okay. So this is what we do. Same with charity. We do the same thing, absolutely the same thing. Um, we thought there was £38 that we give out to charity, but it was only £28. The question is going to be asked, did someone not, did I get the estimate wrong? That could be. Or is there a charity which I pay out to be, and for some reason they haven't collected the direct debit this month? Yeah, and so next month they're going to collect double, etc. Or has my subscription finished with them, etc.? Do I need to renew it, etc.? All these things should trigger questions to you to do. Subscriptions was as planned, so that was perfectly okay. But then daily living, we didn't include cleaning. Um, Obviously, then when we look at the dining out, it was a lot more than what we expected it to be. So that would be, I'd be questioning, did I eat out a lot more this month than I normally do? Or what was the reason? Was there a party or something else that I've had to spend a lot further than more than what I anticipated spending? Similarly with entertainment, okay, so we have these sort of things. We look at what savings and what there is. Obviously, we spent some on a travel. Again, we'll look at into why. Maybe that needs to be a regular saving, etc. Or is it a one-off thing? Savings, we put £100 in our savings account. That was absolutely fine. We forgot that we have to pay some credit card bills. So, that needs to go in. But here is the difference. We thought that we would start with £3,000, we would spend £2,563, and we would have in our bank account £437. The reality was that we earned £3,000 as expected, but we spent £2,937. So we had a deficit, and we had a surplus of only £63. So we spent £374 more than what we wanted to do. Now that's the thing that we need to do every month. Now, when I've broken it down into these little steps in a spreadsheet, which you'll get, it can be done. It's not difficult. It takes time. And if anyone is struggling with this, we at Accountancy Place are happy to spend some time with you. It's not a charge with you, not a charge free service that we offer, that will spend some time on Zoom with you and sort out your personal budget, and look at where you can do. Now, when people have these sorts of information, that's when they can make savings, because that's what you need to know. You need to know how much are you spending on your phone, how much are you spending on your gas and electric, because they are the things that you can make savings on. And electric and gas is notoriously, there's huge savings to be made. Actually, and there's a lot of adverts, about change your gas, electric, and it takes 10 minutes to do. The reality is only 12% of the population have actually changed their gas and electric within the year. Yeah. When you change your supplier to it, and that, look, this is what I spend, you put it into a site, they will come up with some details that these companies will give you your electric, gas fixed for a cheaper rate. It takes literally 10 minutes. And it's not someone coming to your house and putting new pipes in, etc., etc. The two companies will sort out, to take over the bills, etc. You will not notice. And that's the sort of thing. Same with electric, mobile phone bills, absolutely the same thing. Now, in the examples that I've used, the money has always been there. Okay, so in the example that I used, we estimated that we would have £437 savings, and in reality, we've only got £63, but we got £63 left over. So we are still positive, and it is reality. And so we're not too fussed, although £63 is coming close to the borderline. The biggest problem would be is if our expenditure was higher than our income. And because of COVID, because of businesses suffering in the last year, a lot of people are really struggling with this sort of thing, which is why I wanted to do this. And this is hurting people's, debt is increasing, credit cards are getting out of control, etc. And that's hitting your personal references, etc., your personal credit scores, etc. When you take out any mortgages, or even some people want to take out any sort of a finance agreement, you'll have a credit check. And if you haven't been paying your bills on time, etc., it gets recorded, and that gives you a negative, or your credit rating starts reducing. And you want your credit rating to be positive and better, because obviously all of us will want some sort of finance agreement eventually. So it's that sort of thing that we need to control. Okay. And so if you are in a situation where your expenses are higher than your income and you are incurring debts, you do need to really look at it. You'll survive in the short term and the medium term, because all you'll do is you'll take a loan from here and there, you'll balance things out, but it's not going to help you in the long run. You can't survive in the long run. Okay, so you need to start thinking of how you can increase, like getting money, controlling your money. And the couple of things that you can do, which I'll share with you, is that credit cards. Okay, credit cards are dangerous, I accept, but credit cards can also be a great way for you to spread your cost of your things, because obviously if you need to have some incurring expense which you haven't got the expense for now, put it on your credit card. When do you pay your credit card? 21 days normally after the month end. So it gives you that period before they start charging you any interest. You've got an extra 21 days, which allows you to do something in extra things. Now, it could just be that you need a short-term loan. Now, if you know when you're going to have a credit crunch, i.e., you know that in this month I'm going to be struggling because my expenditure is higher than my, for one-off reasons, school fees may be in there, or my car needs to have it serviced, MOT'd, insurance, etc. Something happens, and you need to, you know that your this expense has to be incurred. You need a short-term loan, even if it's a bank overdraft. Now, even if you have to, if you know when it's going to happen, you may be able to do something about it. And even if you know that the last resort is you have to go to the bank to ask for an overdraft, if you can show them that, look, I need an overdraft for a few £100, I only need it for 1 month. If you do that in advance, the banks more or less will be more than happy to give you that small overdraft without you incurring any interest and charges. If you don't ask them, they may stop the payment, which is detrimental to you. Or if they do give you the overdraft, they will charge you. But if you know in advance, it may be something that you can plan. And it may be that you can delay something or move something forward, which would help you in this sort of situation. That's where we're trying to get to. And it is a case of and it is now, the other thing is that if you've got large amounts of debts outstanding already on your credit card, yeah, some people do have a debt outstanding on it. They don't clear their credit card on a monthly basis, so the debt is there, and you have interest being paid out. It's worth you looking, can you move that debt to a different credit card company? And the reason why I say this is that there are some credit card companies which will give you 0% for a certain time. So they may give you 0% on any balance transfer for 12 months, 6 months, 3 months even, but at least you're not paying an interest in that period. Okay, so and then you'll have to have a look if you need to have an overdraft. Find out what sort of interest rates are they going to charge, if they're going to charge it. Some banks at this moment in time, if you do discuss it with them, they will give it to you relatively free or very small charge, and that's going to be cheaper than a credit card. But even credit cards, you can move around, shop around for the better credit card and see what's actually happening. Not a problem at all, and you might find someone that's zero rated. Now, the other thing is be careful about applying left, right, center for credit cards, because what you don't want is a lot of applications on your credit history. Okay, so now if you go to some sites, they will do what's called a soft check for you, i.e., it doesn't get recorded on your credit history, and it will tell you which credit cards, which loans you're eligible for. Okay, so do that first and then go for those. Now, if you have to go for a loan, which isn't ideal, but sometimes a loan is better than a credit card, etc., and you know that if you paid your loan off, then the loan gets wiped out, it's going to be cheaper than a credit card. Shop around. Seriously, you have to shop around for these days. Don't think that even if you got, don't think that you're going to get a bonus for being loyal. There isn't anything for being loyal, especially to insurance companies. So home insurance, car insurance, um, those sort of things, you don't get any bonuses being loyal to them. You have to shop around every year, and it's worth shopping around, not just the day before or a week before your renewal date. Try and do it almost 2 months in advance of your renewal date. Because if you can shop around in advance, you'll get a better date. Even though your renewal is 2 months down the line, you'll get a better rate. It's just one of those strange things that which some people have found out, that by shopping around, even for insurances, they can find it. And strangely enough, there's been a couple of people who have got a cheaper insurance quote from the same insurance they were with. So their quote came around. So let's take a car insurance quote, came to £400. They shopped around. The same company quoted them £50 less. You would expect them to offer that straight away, wouldn't you? But no, they don't. So you do have to shop around for the best sort of quotes, and it makes a big difference. So if you haven't changed your electric gas, please must do so. There's huge savings to be made on that. Shop around for your insurances. Try and credit card debts. try and make sure that you pay them off as soon as possible. Credit card is normally an expensive thing unless you're on a 0% um, credit card, but make sure that you clear your credit card during the period when you've got the 0%. Anything after that will cause you problems. Anyone got any questions so far? I've been talking along and I think I've answered a few questions that have come up in the chat. But if anyone's got any questions, you're welcome to ask those questions. And you can unmute yourselves and ask those questions, or you can put them in the chat. Absolutely. I will send a copy of the presentation out, and I will send the template out for you to have a go at doing this. So you've got a spreadsheet. And remember, it's spreadsheet, so it's like a computer. So you can mess about with it. It doesn't disappear. Absolutely fine. For the benefit of those who need to contact me, there's my details online if you ever need to contact me. But and we're going to take this a step further. I know that a lot of people are in business with me because obviously I'm an accountant. I deal with a lot of small businesses, etc. And we're going to be looking at cash flow for businesses. It was supposed to be this weekend, but when I arranged it this weekend, I didn't realize this was bank holiday weekend. So that's going to be delayed until sometime in June, probably first week of June we'll do that, and I'll get the notification out. That's going to be a longer session. It's going to be a weekend session, and we're going to be looking at really ways why cash flow is important for businesses and how you can improve your business cash flow, because a business is a lot more vital. Because obviously, if you don't have enough cash to pay things at time, even personally, the result, unfortunately, is bankruptcy. And that's something that we want to avoid. It isn't great. It is difficult. Um, but it is what it is. So there's not much we can do. Feel free, anyone to ask any questions. I think I've talked to what I wanted to really to say. It's been a bit quicker than I thought because, yeah, okay. So don't worry, I'm going to be sending out the template, the actual things that I've used. Okay, so if I show you this sort of thing that you can see on screen is actually part of a template that I've got as a spreadsheet, which I'll send out to you. But for the benefit of, rather than showing you the whole spreadsheet, I've broken it down, and this is the way you'll find it on the spreadsheet. So each section is set out, and I want you to please analyze every month whatever your money is going, and you'll find out that you'll make a big difference, and you'll be surprised at how much you spend certain places, things, or etc., and you didn't know. I've done this exercise with a number of people, and they've been shocked as how much they've been spending on, I won't say, but clothing and going to the salon, etc., seems to be way higher than they thought they were spending, and it really wasn't a bit of an eye opener for some people. But we're here to help you because obviously this needs to be done, and this is the first step. The other bit and the important bit is, okay, the 2563 or the 2937. Okay, and this is why we did this personal expense. So for those people who are doing the business and want to know about the business side of things, that total expense, whether it's 2563 or 2937 in the example that I've quoted there for you, is vitally important. The reason why that's important is that when you start a business or you're in business, you need to know that that is the minimum amount that your business has to generate for your survival. Because if it doesn't generate the 2937, for example, how are you going to pay the 2937, all the expenses for your household? And that's one of the reasons why so many businesses fail in the first 12 months, because they haven't got the sums right, because they need to generate the 2937. And in the first 3 or 4 months of your business, you need to be concentrating on developing the business side of things. What actually happens is that if your business doesn't generate the 2937 in this example, what's going to happen? You're going to start thinking of, actually, I need 2937, I need 2937. So all of a sudden, you're not looking into developing the business. What you're more worried about is that I need money in today to pay for these expenses. So your attention now is diverted from expanding the business side of things. Is more focused on um, making sure that you have enough money at the end of the day, because that is equally important. And that's why this exercise is so important, because if you can have savings of 3 months of your expenditure before you start a business. So in this case, 3,2937, for example, if I have savings for 3 months, yeah, before I start my business, or I've got it locked away, that allows me to allows me 24/7 time to develop my business, knowing that I've got enough money to pay for all my expenses. I'm not worried about, I haven't got enough to pay the rent, I haven't got enough to pay the electric bill, a gas bill, etc. Which obviously, running a business is difficult as well. It's got its own stresses. This, you don't want this additional stress. And so for those people who have that sort of savings when they before they start a business, they find actually they are less stressed, and they do well in their business because their whole attention is focused on the business. Because obviously the business to generate income may take some time, and so many of us give up before it gets to that stage because we have to, because we need income today to live on. But obviously 3 months is ideal. Not everyone has 3 months, and that's something that we will look into when we do the cash flow for businesses. Any more questions before we call it a day? So I wanted it to be a short session. I wanted it to be under an hour, which it is. So I'm grateful for that. And obviously, if you were doing this with me right now, it would take longer. But because we're on Zoom, I've shown you, etc. I would not ask you to put the spreadsheet in. That's why it's a bit quicker than we would do in real life. If no one's got any questions, thank you very much for attending today. Hope you found that useful. Please make use of it. I will definitely send a spreadsheet and a copy of this presentation to you. And then I'll also send you the details of the day we're going to do the cash flow for businesses. Okay, thank you very much. And I think, yeah, okay. So thank you very much. I hope that was definitely useful, and we'll see you again sometime later. Thank you very much.